Okay, so you've thought about it for a long time. You've watched hours of videos and scrolled through countless posts on GLP-1 social media support groups, and now you're ready to take the plunge. So where do you start? What should you expect? Being proactive in this process will set you up for success, and I'm going to show you how with my 5 tips for starting smart on a GLP-1. Hi there, everyone. If you're new here, I'm Kim, and I'm on a GLP-1 journey with Zepbound Tirzepatide. Currently, I'm down 35 pounds on just the 2.5 milligrams. Yay! And I'm going to be posting my 6-month update in a week or two. So go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be alerted to that video. And before I dive in, let me be clear, I'm not a medical professional. This content is based on my personal experience and research and is meant to give you ideas to discuss with your own healthcare provider. So my first tip for starting smart on a GLP-1 is to work with a licensed provider. I know this may seem like a given, but from what I've seen, the GLP-1 landscape has become a bit of the Wild West out there with some very questionable ads, over-promising things, and I frankly question their legitimacy. So ensure you start with a qualified prescriber, a doctor, nurse practitioner, or physician assistant who can legally prescribe in your state. If local access is tough, reputable telehealth services are a safe option, again, as long as they use licensed prescribers and licensed pharmacies. Then, if you don't have them already, ask your medical provider for labs like A1C, cholesterol, thyroid, liver function, and glucose. I think the labs are important for 2 reasons. One, they give you a baseline so you and your provider can track improvements over time. And 2, they can also provide medical justification that some insurance companies require before covering the drug. Now that brings me to number 2 on my 5 tips for starting smart on a GLP-1, and that is to check coverage with your insurance company. I think most of us agree coverage is extremely confusing these days. For example, WeGovy and Ozempic are both semaglutide, but approved for 2 different conditions: obesity versus diabetes. The same goes for Zepbound and Mounjaro, Tirzepatide, and some insurance plans cover one version but not the other, or they might require proof that you've tried other methods first. And that's why it's critical to call your insurance company before you start and ask exactly what they'll cover and for what indications. If insurance coverage isn't available, check with manufacturer programs like Lilly Direct or NovoCare. They sometimes provide saving cards that dramatically reduce cost. I personally use Lilly Direct through my MIDI health provider. My provider sends the script to Lilly Direct's pharmacy, and after I make the payment, I usually have my meds within 3 to 4 days. Now, I'm not affiliated with Lilly Direct in any way. I just like to share what I use and what has worked for me. And if brand name GLP-1s aren't an option for you, some people explore compounded medications through specialty pharmacies. If you consider this route, be sure you are only using state-licensed or FDA-registered compounding pharmacies, and always do it under your medical provider's guidance. Now, my number 3 for starting smart on a GLP-1 is to manage expectations for the long game. These medications treat obesity, but they don't cure it. You've probably seen headlines of people losing an extraordinary amount of weight in short time frames. This is neither healthy nor realistic. In the clinical trials, most people lost about a half a pound to 2 pounds per week on average. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but over time, those 1 to 2 pound losses per week add up. Now, as an example, it's been about 24 weeks for me, and at 35 pounds lost in total, that comes out to be about 1.5 pounds per week. Steady, safe progress over the weeks and months can add up to 50 to 100 pounds over a year if you stay consistent with your medication, food, and exercise habits. That's why it's important to see this as an ongoing treatment and to pair it with building new and healthy daily habits that serve the new you that you're building. And number 4 on my 5 tips for starting smart on a GLP-1 is to prepare to manage side effects. Don't be caught off guard and think it won't happen to you. Be prepared by planning ahead. For example, keep simple, high-protein foods ready. Stock up on hydration mixes and set reminders to track your water. Having a list of supportive items like ginger tea for nausea or fiber-rich snacks can make the early weeks smoother. Side effects don't always show up right away, so stay vigilant and listen to your body and be prepared. Now, the most common side effects are nausea, constipation, bloating, and feeling extra tired, especially as your dose increases. So why does this happen? These medications slow gastric emptying, meaning food leaves your stomach more slowly. That's how they keep you feeling full longer. But it also means your digestion has to adjust. For me, here's what helps early on. Mindful eating. Eat smaller, slower meals so your stomach isn't overloaded, and learn to listen to your body for fullness cues when you are eating so you don't overeat. Now, I'm going to be honest here. There were a few times when I was not being mindful of what and how much I was eating. I'll spare you the details, but the bloating was just awful. I felt like a water balloon stretched to its limit. It was so uncomfortable for days. And I don't want to go back to that ever again. So learn from my mistakes. Light movement can ease bloating and help digestion. I enjoy walking, but I also have a small rebounder I keep in my office. After eating, I like to get on it and do some low impact bounces just for a minute or two. It has certainly helped me with digestion, and if I start to feel a little backed up, I get on that, and no kidding, within about 30 minutes, I'm in the bathroom feeling so much better. And while we are prioritizing protein as our appetites decrease, make sure you also add fruits and vegetables. These are hugely helpful with hydration and fiber to keep things moving along in the digestive process. When I was struggling with hydration, I started incorporating a mandarin orange into my breakfast routine, and that small change made a huge difference in helping me to stay hydrated. And yes, staying hydrated is critical. This was huge for me, so I can't stress this one enough. And online, I see at least 1 or 2 posts a week about people ending up in the ER with an IV due to dehydration. And I was almost there too. You should aim for the minimum of 64 ounces daily. But most GLP-1 users actually feel best closer to 80 to 100 ounces of water a day. I try to hit at least 100 ounces. Sometimes I'll do more, but it's important to drink consistently throughout the day rather than loading up all at once when you remember. So keeping a refillable water bottle handy makes it so much easier to pace yourself and to track how much you've drunk. In addition, make a hydration supplement part of your routine to keep from being depleted of essential electrolytes. I use Relay Hydration Mix by the Redmond's Real Salt Company to stay ahead of any issues. It's clean, it's sugar-free, and I just love how it tastes. I have a whole list of other items I use which have made a huge difference in my GLP-1 journey. I've linked the Relay and all that below in the video description, so make sure you check it out. Now, if side effects still feel unmanageable, don't just end your journey out of frustration. Message your doctor. Sometimes slowing your titration or adjusting how you eat can make all the difference. Most people find these symptoms ease up as their body adapts to the medication, so there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Now, my final tip, and I think most important, for starting smart on your GLP-1 is to know your why. This is because as you go through this journey, the number on the scale won't always be enough to keep you motivated. There will be stretches where the scale does not move and moments when the people closest to you either don't notice your progress or may even seem unsupportive of your journey. So I want to challenge you to think deeper. Why are you willing to go through all of this? Because it is a lifestyle change. Is your why because you want to travel comfortably? Maybe more practical and you just want to reduce health risks. Maybe it's to simply feel like yourself again. So whatever it is, it's important to not rely on external factors to propel you through this process. When you connect your progress to reasons that truly matter to you, long-term success becomes more likely. And let me tell you, the sense of accomplishment is far more rewarding. So clarify your why statement and revisit it on those hard days. If you need help in developing your why statement, check out my mindset tool over on my website at glpwonderfullife.com. I've linked it below. It's designed to remind you why you started this journey in the first place, to keep your eyes on the true goal so when discouragement comes, it doesn't derail your journey. So those were my 5 tips for starting smart on your GLP-1 journey. And if you're still making the decision on if a GLP-1 is right for you, I've created a no pressure, straightforward GLP-1 discussion guide, which provides honest answers to important questions that I wish I had when I started this journey. I included that in the links below. And for those just starting, this isn't about perfection. It's about preparation and patience. By working with your provider, checking your coverage, setting realistic expectations, preparing for side effects, and anchoring yourself in your why statement, you're giving yourself the best chance for lasting success, which is what we all want at the end of the day anyway. So remember, GLP-1s are not a quick fix, but a long-term partnership between you and your body. So take it one step at a time and give yourself credit for every bit of the progress along the way. If you are already a few months into this process and have other tips and tricks newbies might like to know about, won't you help out this amazing community by commenting on them below? Finally, if you head over to my website, glpwonderfullife.com, you will find lots of other tools like a free and fun GLP-1 progress tracker, a side effect decoder, a personalized 5-day meal plan, and you will receive my weekly newsletter full of tips and thoughts to keep you motivated for the journey ahead. I so appreciate you following along, and if you haven't already, go ahead and please hit that like and subscribe button so we can stay in touch. Okay, everyone, have a great rest of your week, and I will see you on the next one. Love you. Bye.